All right, we'll talk a little Mariners today because we saw the debut of a new Mariner last night, a veteran, a guy brought in. I'm going to go ahead and call it the Millwood role, if that's all right. A guy who can throw some innings, a guy who's a veteran, maybe a stabilizing force, maybe brought in temporarily. But after watching Aaron Harang's first start, he looks like he might be a decent fit there at the number 5 spot.
Yeah, he's a guy, and you can check out our interview with him on the podcast page, that he's a veteran. You went back and looked through his career numbers. He's not going to light the world on fire. He's not going to dominate lineups, but he's a guy that can keep it in the game, and that's exactly what he did in the first game. He gave up a few runs, gave you 5 innings of work. So what he does is hopefully you can get that to 5 2/3, 6 innings, and save your bullpen, keep your team in the game, and that's going to be his role, not to blow it up. And I think he's capable of doing that, specifically at Safeco Field, as he gets more in tune with what's happening out there in the team. So I think he's a good addition that's not going to dominate, but
right.
Good enough to give your team a chance.
And I think maybe even a little bit more than the Millwood numbers last year, though I can understand how the metrics sort of work out with a guy who, coming in, the story was he had been walking a lot more guys than he'd been striking out, which is usually bad news at Safeco Field. Heck, his first game was 6 strikeouts, no walks or something
right.
like that. I mean,
95 pitches.
Was actually very, very strong there. So, and like most pitchers, I think a guy who likes pitching at Safeco Field. I mean, he mentioned that too. So, yeah, kind of a quiet pickup that they weren't making a lot of noise about, but the sort of guy, he was 10 wins with the Dodgers last year, the sort of guy who's capable of winning double-digit games and a solid veteran, something that I think they needed. And in particular, I mean, you could see him, Brandon Mark, great start the last time out, but if not, you could see them moving Harang up as a guy who would get a start every 5th day as well.
Yeah, I think the versatility attached to him is going to be very helpful for this team. And he's a guy, again, low impact move, not a big name, not a big level of expectation, but I think he's a guy that's ultimately going to pay off pretty well for this team if he can stay healthy.
We had a nice talk with him. Check it out on the podcast page.